Alaska, and Alaskan homes don't cool very well. And it's hotter than Hades in here. In fact, the other day before it got hot out, oh, this is going to be annoying, though, isn't it? Before it got hot out the other day, it was 85 degrees in my dad's condo. So it's probably a good 90 in here now. And, part-time Texan or not, it's hot. So I have the fan on, and hopefully y'all can still hear me. But I didn't get a video done Friday because Friday just got away from me. I just got a lot going on. Oh, and by the way, y'all, it doesn't tell me who joined me. It doesn't even always tell me that anybody has joined me. So hopefully any comments that you are making are kind. And if not, I'll find out later. Anyway, this is an idea that I've really struggled with for a while, the fear of failure or fear of success. And this is something I think that a lot of people deal with, but I don't think a lot of people really look into it and investigate the meaning behind what they're feeling, what they're trying to process. By the way, this information is from psychcentral.com. It's really funny to me how we build up failure to be such a terrible thing in our society, but it's really not. It means you're trying. It means you know, okay, I did this, it didn't work. Now that way doesn't work. You can move on. You can try another plan. But there's a lot of reasons why we fear failure. Maybe you have a track record of failing. Maybe you've been criticized or punished for your mistakes. Maybe you're a perfectionist. Is your self-worth a tie? Not a tied. Is your self-worth tied to your performance and accomplishment? It shouldn't be, because everybody's going to have an off day. Maybe you have a sense of inferiority. Maybe you doubt your abilities, or you have a really narrow definition of failure and success. But there's there's a huge difference between I'm a failure and I failed to reach my goal. I'm a failure and I failed at this one thing. My attempt at this failed. But you know what? Failure is inevitable. Failure is always an option. There's I have a friend of mine, we talked once about overnight successes, and she disagreed with me. She told me I was wrong. So I said, there's no such, unless you win the lottery, there's no such thing as an overnight success. And she said, what about tech billionaires? I said, did they sit down at a computer and instantly know how to do all that stuff? No, they didn't. There's a lot of work that goes on in the background. Anyway, I'm a little rambly. Shocking, right? Reasons that you fear success. And it's a real thing. A lot of times people don't feel like they're worthy of being successful. They don't feel they deserve it. They're concerned it's just going to add more work, more stress, more pressure. Because you know what? When you succeed, you just get bigger problems. That's the way it goes. You might be worried that others are going to be jealous of you and that your relationships will suffer. You know what? Unfortunately, that's a legitimate concern for a lot of people. Again, maybe you have a very narrow definition of failure and success. Maybe you doubt your abilities. Now, if you noticed, the last two things on both lists, both fearing failure and fearing success, they're the same thing. A narrow definition of success and failure and doubting your abilities. Because these whichever one you're feeling, whether it be success or failure, whichever one you're concerned about, they're really very similar. So how do you overcome these fears? Well, first you have to acknowledge, good grief. English is my first language. I don't know if y'all can hear that. There goes a boat. It's kind of cool being on the river, I gotta say. Except when it's, midnight and there's boats going up and down, because I am in the land of the midnight sun, so it's not dark out. It's not dark this time of year. But anyway, you need to acknowledge and accept your feelings. You're not alone. You are not alone. There are millions of people out there who are going through similar feelings. So you need to look for the potential in a situation. Sure, you might fail. You're right. But what if you succeed? Have you considered that? When you start playing that game in your head of, oh my God, and if I fail and this is going to happen and that's going to happen, it's going to be horrible. Have you ever stopped yourself and thought, what would happen if I succeeded at this? How amazing would it be? What doors would be open? You might want to consider that. You need to appreciate the growth. Failure, good Lord, I'm having a hard time talking tonight. Failure is simply a learning process. That's all it is. Any good or bad emotions tied to it, we've put that on there. Failure is simply feedback. It's that, it's really that simple. You need to understand that neither success nor failure, they don't define you. You are far too complex of a being to be tied into such a small definition. You really need to be able to see yourself succeeding. You need to be able to visualize it. Literally, close your eyes and visualize what it would be like for you to be successful. Do this several times a day. How is it going to feel physically, emotionally, spiritually? Get out a pen and paper, write it all down. Get as detailed as you can. Okay, if you succeed at this, what's going to change in your life? Actually, I need to get out a pen and paper and I need to do this. And I did it a few years ago, but I need to update it. The first time, actually, I'll be honest, the only time I've really done this, I had a friend ask me several years ago, what would your life look like if you were healthy? And I was just like, I have no idea. I've been unhealthy for so long. I don't want to say sick, but I guess I am. But I've had health issues for so long. That's a hard concept for me to wrap my head around. And I've realized post Cymbalta, which I'm sorry, yes, I know my hair's everywhere. Post Cymbalta, I am still reeling from the implications of that freaking nasty ass drug. And I'm having a hard time. I'm really struggling to see myself in a healthy situation. So I need to get out. I need to follow my own advice. I need to get out a pen and paper. I have a notebook right here next to me. Maybe I should do this tonight and just write down a list. What would change in my life? A lot. But I need to write it down so that I can refer back to it on days when I'm really struggling. Another way to help overcome your fear of success or failure is to redefine your idea of success or failure. Don't fall into societal expectations. You need to define success on your terms. What do I mean by that? Well, society tells you that you should go out and make six figures a year. But maybe for you, that's not what you want. And you know what? There's nothing at all wrong with that. Maybe you're feeling pressure to go out and have kids, but that's not what you want. Again, that's okay. Just because other people have that expectation of you, it doesn't have to be your expectation for yourself. You need to celebrate progress, not perfection. You got to celebrate your wins, no matter how small, because the big things don't come along very often. You've got to remember to take a step back. And this is something I really am challenged with. But instead of saying, oh my God, I've got so far to go, you've got to take that step back and turn and look, wow, yeah, I might still have a long way to go, but look how far I've come. That is really important. And it's going to help shift your mindset. You need to remember that perfection only exists in movies and magazines. You are never going to be perfect. Let that idea go. And finally, you got to remember the more you fail, the more you're going to succeed, because this is a learning process. That's all it is. It's feedback. I tried this, it didn't work. Here's another approach. It's so funny how as the older we get, I shouldn't say the older we get, but as we grow up, when you're really little, you don't think anything about failing. You're too excited trying to learn how to walk, trying to learn how to talk, but think about it. If we stopped doing things every time it was a challenge or a struggle, where the hell would we be in life? We wouldn't be able to walk. Oh, my hair in the fan. Oh, it's really obnoxious. I'm sorry, but it's hotter than Hades in here. And on that note, I'm going to go. I need to go get something cold to drink. But look, I'm certainly not an expert on this. But if this is stuff you're struggling with, you're not alone. Okay? You got to remember that. And I highly encourage you to go out and find some podcasts or a YouTube channel or books, something that resonates with you, something that you find just uplifting, and it helps put you in a positive mindset, because that's going to make a tremendous difference for you. Anyway, that's all I got. I hope you'll have a great night. I will be back Wednesday, hopefully earlier than this, but Yeah, I'm still not doing very good with my time management up here, obviously. Anyway, I hope you all have a great night, and I'll see you Wednesday.